Do you think?
You know,
Do you think that things like 415 Tech will come back now that now there is like a reviving in the game industry and a reviving in the social media? Do you think that 415 Tech could become maybe 415 social media?
well, I am 415 Tech was a large quarterly gathering for internet IT business professionals. Used to draw like between 1,500 and 2,000 people.
Right.
Every 3 months here in San Francisco.
We can do a social media one now, since social media is the big thing.
Well, now, yeah, I'm working on launching a new event called the Big Meetup.
Oh, the Big Meetup.
Okay, so
Okay,
that
that
will
makes
be
sense.
a big event. My idea for this event is that it will be a big event. It'll happen every 2 months.
Okay. And that will
Maybe
be,
three. It might
that'll
be
be
3
like
months, but at least every two.
StumbleUpon and all these social media websites.
Yeah, I want to get. It'll be for people who work in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Young, old, wired, traditional, but people who are working in San Francisco and who are, want to meet up with people.
Yeah.
Because no matter what the tech is, it's all done with people. Whether you have computers, you have a video camera, you have Twitter, you have
People are behind the scenes.
Yeah, it takes people to make it go.
Okay.
So this will be for people to get together, very busy people who are working in San Francisco or the Bay Area.
Okay.
And what I've seen is there's a phenomenon where people are so busy, they are doing so many things
They don't meet.
that they are so busy even meeting with people and running around town meeting with people that they don't have time to meet up with the people who they want to meet up with.
Okay.
Their friends, their business associates who they're not doing business with, but who they like and they want to meet up with. So my this concept is to take a day of the week. I don't know if it'll be the a
Saturday
Friday. I don't know if it'll be a Saturday or Friday
Saturday they have the day
or a
off.
Wednesday. But I'm going to pick a day, and it'll happen on the same day, and it'll be called the Big Meetup, and it'll just happen on a regular basis. I'm thinking every 2 months now.
Okay.
And so people will be able to talk to themselves on the internet or on the phone and say, hey, are you going to go to the Big Meetup? I'll meet you there.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now, would
there
you-
we'll have, 500 people,
Yeah.
and, you'll be able to go there, and you'll be able to find, meet
person
5
you
new
need to
people and meet 5 old people, that you haven't had a chance to see in a while.
Well, actually, it's a great idea since Meetup.com got funded and now they're hiring in New York and because they organize little meetups of different specialties.
Absolutely, the meetup phenomenon was huge, but it's gotten a little. It's kind of like the internet. It's getting old, but it's still very powerful.
Okay.
So everybody
So
knew
now
about it
there's a-
because it drove the Howard Dean campaign.
Okay.
Howard Dean became a viable president candidate for the United States because he had self-generated meetups all over the
Everywhere.
country, and that put the kind of the meetup
Then
internet system on the map.
yeah, and
because
then
the Howard
Gavin
Dean
Newsom
campaign.
did it, and Matt Gonzalez did it. They all
Right.
did meetups.
So now, 4 years later, 2008, Obama comes along,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have meetups, but he uses the internet. He does web video. He
Yeah.
does, email lists.
And radio.
He does a very buffed out Obama for America, website, and he uses technology to communicate with people, and inspire people to have their own committee for Obama, their own neighborhood for Obama.
Oh, for 2012. Yeah.
Now he's going to do it again. It's going to be another. It'll be not as fresh as last time, but hopefully it'll be just as powerful, and I hope he wins.
So the Big Meetup will have tables like 415 Tech, or like the other one. What was the name of the other one? Where people will have tables and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it won't have as many. It'll have just at the 415 Tech, I would have 40 tables for 40 different companies.
Yeah.
This will have more like 5 or 6.
Okay. The
5
big
or
ones
6.
to the
And
big
I hope
Facebook.
I hope to partner with some community media organizations, nonprofit radio stations, maybe a print publication, and then also with magazines.
Okay.
I would like to distribute some of the magazines that are published here in San Francisco, like Wired magazine, and things like that. And
will you be in a space like the concourse where you used to do it, or something else?
I hope to start out at the Hub, the new hub in
Oh.
San Francisco.
That's not big enough, is it?
Well, it'll hold about 300-400 people
Okay.
on the ground floor,
Okay.
and now they're expanding to the second floor space.
Okay.
So
You'll
I
have
hope-
like 2 floors where people can.
yeah, yeah. So the hub is very centrally located. That's another new business phenomenon called the co-working space.
Yeah.
And this is a special co-working space for social entrepreneurs
Yeah.
and people who are interested in kind of change the world.
And they have a
type of
place to
things.
go.
Yeah, so the hub started out in London, England, and there's 20 of them all over the world, in South
didn't know
Africa, Rio de Janeiro, and
It's popular now.
well, there was a group of people in the Mission District called Good Capital. They were a special kind of social capitalists, social venture capitalists. They were
Okay.
interested in funding
Helping.
social enterprises.
And they did that.
And what happened was they were doing like little meetups, gatherings,
Okay.
and they were looking for more space. And they were doing an annual conference called the SoCap Market Conference. And so they had a big network, and they were looking for to create a place for all these businesses that they knew to all work together. So they met up with these people at the hub in London, and they said, okay, we're going to start up the hub here in the Bay Area.
Nice.
So they started one in Berkeley,
Yeah.
in the Brower Center on Center Street. It's in the kind of like this big green complex
Area, okay.
called the Brower Center, named it for Earth Island Institute, David Brower. And that was the first hub in Berkeley, and now the second hub is in the Chronicle Building, which is very centrally located and in my neighborhood.
Very accessible, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
right
get
next to
off the
Powell
Market
Street Bard.
Street,
It's right
everywhere.
next to the big Fifth Street Garage,
It's
which has
awesome.
low-cost parking.
It's awesome. When I discovered it, thanks to you, I say that's awesome. The tables are nice. There's windows. It's not like in a underground
Yeah.
basement. It's very nice. I mean, I'm so happy you made me aware that it does exist. So you are part of that, right? I mean, you are.
Yeah, I was like a founding member. I joined when they just were in Berkeley and they hadn't opened up in San Francisco. But I knew it was going to be a fantastic thing, so I wanted to join right away and encourage them to get started as soon as we
So-
could in San Francisco.
So it was so crowded yesterday. It was the first time I went. That I mean, during the day, like working hours,
Right.
I thought, I mean, there's probably 300 members there. I mean, no more.
Absolutely, that's why they're going to expand to the second floor.
Okay, so
Now.
it was so full. I say, oh, I'm getting out of here. I stayed an hour and I left.
Right.
Because I say, it looks like a lot of people are waiting for a seat.
Well, they have this main kind of area where people can share table space, plug in your laptop, Then the walls are kind of lined with these little cubicles where
Yeah.
you can go in and make private phone calls and
Yeah.
make a lot of noise talking on the phone. Then they have these like bigger areas which are kind of like an office, which is about the size of this room that you can
That's-
rent for $500
Okay.
or some amount of rent per month. And then they have
The
this
conference room.
they have a video conference room for video conferencing in hubs and places all over the world. And then they have like meeting space called the garage.
Oh, I see.
And there's two big rooms, and then there's like this garage door that like rolls up
Oh,
in
okay.
between the rooms, so you can have
Okay.
one big room or two rooms.
I see.
And and then they got the refrigerator and the espresso machine,
very nice,
and
yes,
the
yes, it's
network
awesome.
printer, and little
Yeah.
cubby holes for mailboxes for people, and it's a
The
great thing.
concept is so great. I mean, it's like a dream come true for some people because, the Renaissance does have also offices for rent, but then it's like minimum 300, even if you go there for hours part time. I mean, this is really for everybody can afford. Anybody can afford to go there.
Right. It's it's better than Starbucks.
Yeah, yeah.
better than Starbucks. It's not open up late at night like Starbucks is. What happens is after about
Starbucks, you
6
have to-
o'clock,
Yeah.
these big tables that everybody works in, they roll away and
Oh,
they
I see.
fold up, and then it turns into an event space
I see.
at night. So then they can either have theater or or meeting style seating for 100 people or 200 people, and then standing for a standing networking thing. You can have like 300-400 people
That's
or
true.
more.
Yeah.
Plus, there's the art gallery next door. The
San Francisco Film of Digital Filmmaking. Yeah.
they have that, and the Intersection for the Arts art
Also.
gallery. So I'm hoping that this big meetup will be able to establish itself there in San Francisco,
And
and then
if you do
grow
a big
to whatever
meet-
its natural
yeah,
growth
and
is.
then if the hub grows too much, then we'll open a second hub.
Well, that would the hub is definitely
Growing at this point.
definitely growing. My
Yeah.
idea for the big meetup is I might be able. I'm thinking I'll do it in different cities.
Okay.
So if I could do it in New York,
Then you can replicate the same concept.
so then I can do it 1 month in New York, 1 month in San Francisco,
Okay.
and that way it would be every other month in San Francisco, every other month in New York,
Okay.
kind of a thing. And then if I decide to do it in LA too, then it'll be like every 3 months.
Yeah.
kind of.
But the hub was a good concept when the economy was down and people couldn't maybe pay big rents for offices. But now that the economy is going up, maybe more people are going to be able to rent their own space and give space for the new entrepreneur. I don't know how this is all going to turn out.
Well, hopefully the economy will get better.
Yeah.
Hopefully the economy will get better. There's always two kinds of economies. There's the general economy, and there's the personal economy. And what you want to do is, whether the general economy is going up or going down, you want to focus on your personal economy.
Is it working for me?
Right. To make sure that the businesses, the enterprises, the groups that you're working with are
Upbeat
are
and positive.
flourishing and thriving. Even for example, there's some businesses that do good in a depression.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like insurance.
yeah, or moving and storage. Moving and storage does good in depression because everybody has to move. They got to move from a big office to a small office because their business is shrinking.
Right.
So the people who make money on that are the people in the moving business who have to, move them. Another
I heard during war, life insurance is big because people want to insure their loved ones for life if they die in the war. But every period of life has different businesses that flourish. Yeah.
right.
So
Inexpensive
yours-
entertainment is good, like ice cream cones.
Yes.
Maybe I can't afford, to go to the movies, but I can afford an ice cream cone.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
I can afford to walk down the street with my friend with an ice cream cone, and we can talk instead of going to the
and
movies.
have a good time.
Yeah.